welcome back to my channel. So today's video, this is a special request by many people. About a week ago, I went to a wedding and I wore this look right here that I posted on Instagram a couple times, and I got a lot of requests to recreate the makeup look, so that's what I'm doing for you today. All products that I use today will be mentioned in the down bar below, so if you don't catch something or if I'm talking too quickly, you can always check down below to get that information as well. So if you want to see how to get this smoky brown eye, then keep on watching. So we're starting with skin today, and I've already applied my primer, which is the new Marc Jacobs primer, and it has 5 kinds of coconut water in it. It's very hydrating. When the weather starts to cool down a little bit, my skin gets just a little bit drier, but I don't like to use heavier moisturizers underneath my makeup, so I love me a good hydrating primer. I just self-tanned right before I filmed this video, so I have no idea what foundation is going to match me right now, but I'm going to start out with this Makeup Forever HD. This is in the shade N127, and I know they recently changed their shade numbers, so I really have no idea what this would be in the new shade numbers. This foundation is made to be stippled, not buffed or blended, so you want to make sure you use patting motions regardless of what tool you're using to apply it. So I'm just going to stipple it all over with the end of my beauty blender. And for under eye concealer today, I'm using this Sephora Bright Future Gel Serum Concealer. I really like this. The formula is really nice. It doesn't crease under my eyes, and it blends really beautifully. I'm using my beauty blender for this as well. It is my favorite tool for blending concealer. And you can see this concealer also gives a really good amount of coverage. To set my concealer, I'm using this ridiculously overpriced Chanel powder. Next, I'm doing just a bit of light contouring, and I'm going to use Nars Laguna from this cheek palette, and I'm going to use a Morphe E8 brush. I mentioned this in my favorite face brushes video that I just uploaded like 2 weeks ago, and I really like this for contouring. I'm also using Laguna to contour my nose, and I think this is my favorite nose contour shade. There are many different ways that you can contour your nose depending on what shape you have and what shape you want to end up with. I prefer just the straight lines up and down on the side of the nose. You're basically just cheating the line, moving it inward to make your nose look thinner. The end. Next, I'm going in with my favorite bronzer from Hourglass, which is Radiant Bronze Light with a matching bronzer brush also from Hourglass, and I'm just going to bronze the typical areas. Cheeks, chin, forehead. Next, I'm using this Sigma blush. This is in the color Heavenly, and I don't know if this is the color that I used last weekend. I don't remember which one I used, honestly, so we're using this one today. I'm applying this with the Zoeva 127 blush brush. My blush last weekend was not very intense, so we're just applying a sheer wash of this. Well, not sheer, but you know. Next, for my cheek highlight, I'm using So Hollywood from Anastasia Beverly Hills. There are no words for how beautiful this highlight is. And for this, I'm actually just going to pop a little bit right here on the top of my cheekbone and then a little bit on my nose and Cupid's bow. Nowhere else. We're not strobing. We're not getting crazy. So I said I wasn't going to get crazy with a highlighter, but I think we all kind of know how that goes. So next I'll be priming my eyes with this Paint Pot from MAC. This is in the color Tailor Gray. The first shade I'm taking is Soft Peach, and you can either get this as a single or it can be found in the Shadow Couture palette. I'm going to take this on a fluffy brush and buff this back and forth in windshield wiper motions in my upper crease. Next, I'm taking the shade Orange Soda, which once again can be bought as a single or it can be found in the Lavish palette, and I'm doing the same exact thing. I'm just going to bring it a little bit lower than the Soft Peach color that we just applied. Moving on to our next shade, which is Sienna, which can also be found in the Lavish palette. Using a Sigma E45 small tapered blending brush, I'm going to get some of that product on the tip of the brush and start blending that back and forth in the crease from inner to outer corner, and we're really going to get right in the socket with this color. Next, going back into the Lavish palette with this shade right here called Rum Cake on a very, very flat brush. I'm going to pack this on my lid using patting motions, and that's going to help get the best color payoff. This is the only shade I'm using today that is not Anastasia. This is from Morphe and it's called 04, and this is just for an inner eye highlight. And just for funsies, I'll be popping a little bit of that on my brow bone. Next, going back into the Shadow Couture palette, we're going to use this shade right here called Fudge. This part's pretty self-explanatory. We're just going to pop some of this in the outer corner with this flat brush, then turn the brush sideways and blend it out. Next, I'm taking Fudge on a flat definer brush from Sigma, and I'm going to push this underneath my lower lashes. Next, I'm going back in with Sienna, the reddish brown color that we used in the crease, and on a Luxe Petite crease brush from Zoeva, I'm going to buff out the Fudge that we just applied to our lower lash line. And for the final shadow color, we're going back into the Shadow Couture palette and using Noir. This part, you need to be so light-handed. Like if you think you're being light-handed enough, you're not, and you need to be more light-handed. After I put my brush into this shadow, I even tapped a little bit off on a tissue. That's it for shadow. We are moving on to eyeliner. I'm using the MAC Black Acrylic Paint with the Sigma E06 Winged Liner Brush. When I did this look before, it was kind of a dramatic wing, not too crazy, but still kind of long, you know, definitely noticeable that I'm wearing wing liner. Don't I look kind of funny without brows? Anyway, I just wanted to touch really quickly on this MAC Black Acrylic Paint. I use this for liner all the time, and people always have a lot of questions about it because it's very interesting. It's not a gel, it is a liquid acrylic paint, and it is made for body painting, so it's smudge proof, waterproof, soap proof, makeup remover proof, olive oil and coconut oil proof. This stuff is a total disaster if you don't use it correctly. So basically it is this little glass bottle with this liquid black paint in it, and you take the cap off and it's like this little jar of paint, and you have to be really careful because it has a big hole on the top so it can come out really easily, which I found out the hard way. But what I like to do is you're supposed to shake it before you use it. So I shake it up, and then that gets a little bit here in this cap, and it has like this little thing right here in the middle. And then what I do is just take my brush and then lightly dip it into that over and over as needed. So that's basically how I use this stuff. It's super crazy stuff. I don't use this on a daily basis. It's a little intense for a daily basis, and you kind of have to scrub a little bit to get it off of your eyes, and I'm not down with doing that all the time. So hopefully that answers the questions that you had about it. It is a pro item, so you can only get it at pro stores or maccosmetics.com. Okay, so moving on to our lashes. I am going to be wearing false lashes, but before I apply them, I am using the Sigma High Caliber Lash, and I have been loving these Sigma mascaras. There are 3 new ones, and there is a lengthening, a volumizing, and a curling formula. I think my favorite is this one, the High Caliber lengthening formula, just because the brush is so small, so I'm less likely to touch my skin with it, which is a problem that I have every day. Nothing crazy about this technique, just gonna get the mascara on my eyelashes. So I have my mascara on. I'm now going to tightline my upper lash line with this Tarte close-up lash liner, and this is really tiny, so it's really good for getting right in that upper waterline. Next I'll be applying brows, and you've seen me do this a million times, so I'm just gonna skip over it. So before I apply my false lashes, I'm going to go in with this MAC Costa Riche Brown lip liner, eyeliner, and it is a reddish brown color, so it goes really well with the Fudge and Sienna eyeshadow colors that we applied earlier. And for lashes, I'm using these from the brand Eyelure, and they're drugstore lashes. I think these were only like $4 or $5, and they're really pretty and wispy. And they are the number 143s. Pretty, pretty, so pretty. And to apply them, I'm using this Duo brush-on glue in the black formula. These lashes aren't huge and dramatic, but they definitely add some fullness and fluffiness to my natural lashes, which have been severely lacking recently. Okay, so I have my lashes on, I have my brows on. The last step is lips, and I'm using 2 products. The first is this Indulgent lip base from Sigma, and I've really grown to love this. I actually need to sharpen it, but it's just basically like a giant pencil that is a primer for your lips. And I'm going to sharpen it right now because I'm not about to get stabbed by this wood. So the way that I use this is just completely fill my lips in all the way. It's really creamy. It just feels good on the lips. It's kind of like moisturizing even though it's a pencil. Is my lash going crazy? No? Okay, we good. I like applying this because it feels good on the lips and it's really fast since it's so enormous. Next for my lip color, I'm just using a gloss today. This is the Buxom gloss in the shade Dolly, and it's kind of like a light plum color. Let me swatch it for you. See? It's pretty. It's kind of like a pinky plum color. I just thought it was really pretty when I swatched it at Sephora, so I got it. So that is going to do it for today's look. I hope you guys enjoyed, and for those of you that requested this, I hope you enjoyed it as well. So thank you for watching, and if you did like this video, please don't forget to click like and subscribe if you are not subscribed yet, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!